Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel and you're watching A Lawn Care Life. In this video, I want to give you 7 reasons to consider starting a weed control and fertilization business. Now, whether you're looking to get into lawn care for the first time or maybe you're already in the lawn care business and you want to consider adding weed control and fertilization to your existing business, I want to talk to you about that's basically what I've done and some of the pros and advantages of being in the weed control business. So let's get started with those 7 reasons right now. Reason number 1 to get into the weed control and fertilization business is a good one, and that's because you make more money, okay? And it's just, I don't want to make up imaginary numbers, but as a general rule of thumb, I can go out there on a normal day and generate about $1,000 of revenue a day. And that's not, like I said, that's not just an extraordinary day, it's just the normal numbers. And as a solo operator, normally your profits in a year are somewhere around 50%. So that's really, really good profit margins and good revenue. And that is very significant as you're trying to build a business, and it's going to be hard to duplicate those numbers mowing grass, especially with one person. It would be near impossible to do that with one person. And what I'm talking about is $1,000 a day with one person, one truck, a sprayer, you know, maybe doing a push spreader for fertilizer and things like that. $1,000 a day is very normal and achievable. Of course, I can't guarantee your results, but I'm just telling you that is very normal in this industry. The second reason I think you should consider doing weed control and fertilization is the year-round income that it provides. Now, obviously that's not true if you live up north and you're buried with snow for months at a time, but here in the South, we literally do weed control and fertilization year-round. My business could operate 365 days a year. I'm in Alabama, and that is a good thing. You may say, well, Jason, I want to go deer hunting in the wintertime. Well, I understand that, and that's something that I enjoy doing from time to time as well, but it's not good for a business to have little to no income for months at a time during the winter. Now, you may say, well, I'm gonna make enough money during the warm season months to save up for the winter, and I think that's a great idea too, but a better option is just to have year-round steady income all the time, and that is what the weed control and fertilization business provides. And it's not, it doesn't vary a whole lot. It's just very consistent, steady income. And maybe that sounds boring to some of you, but for me, that is exciting news. And one reason, a very important one, why I enjoy being in weed control and fertilization. The third reason for this possibility of being in weed control and fertilization is it's really a more scalable business because of the first 2 reasons. Because it being year-round, because of increased incomes, it makes it where you can scale the business better, meaning that you can grow it past yourself. It doesn't have to just be you if you don't want to be solo. Like I said, if you want to be solo and you have 50% profit margins, that's fine. If you start hiring people, obviously those margins are going to go down, but your revenue is going to go up. And you can scale it because you can, you know, like I said, it's just a profitable thing. You can afford, because of the money, to go out and buy more equipment, to hire people, and to grow it past yourself, which is a great thing. And this is not on my list of top 7 reasons, but that can make it a very valuable business to sell one day if you show the financial numbers behind your business and it's scaled past yourself where it's operating without the owner necessarily being directly involved in the day-to-day operations. So having a scalable business is a huge plus for this industry. Fourth reason I want you to consider starting a weed control and fertilization business, you got better employees, and of course that makes sense if you're able to pay them more. In fact, let's just picture a scenario that person that you hire by himself with one truck and a spray tank and a fertilizer spreader can go out there and generate you $1,000 a day, possibly upwards of $200,000 annually. Again, I can't promise the income, but those are not crazy numbers. Then of course you can afford to pay them more money than $10 an hour or whatever some people pay people in the mowing side of the business. So it's a great advantage that if they're generating you more money, then obviously you can pay them more, and more pay typically translates into better quality employees that stick around. And this goes back to the year-round business. If I can keep somebody year-round, the odds of keeping them on for year after year after year is much greater. And of course, paying them more is greater. than if you have to fire them every winter, or whatever, lack of a better word, I don't know. But if you don't have any work to keep them in the wintertime, it's hard to ask them to not get paid for months at a time and then ask them to come back and sign up again the following spring. So the year-round income is a big part of you being able to attract and retain better employees. And honestly, I think some people will like it being kind of a one-person job, being out there, the freedom that gets, not being micromanaged. They're in their work truck, they're out there on the day, taking care of their work, taking care of their route, and being able to handle their own business, and and be able to manage their own customers. That can be a huge plus, and something that gives that employee a feeling of ownership in the business, that they're not just being micromanaged all day, but they actually can have some control over what they're doing and taking care of their lawns. And you need to find an employee that can do that well and be able to reward them, to be able to retain them for doing an excellent job. The fifth reason I want you to consider this is less competition. Now I'll say this, when you are out mowing lawns, oftentimes you will see a lot of other people out mowing lawns. And if you're out spraying lawns, you're gonna see people spraying lawns too, but it's typically a lot less than is out mowing lawns. Now, part of this is because of the hoops you got to jump through. You got to get a license to be able to spray lawns. There's some continuing educations that are required to keep your license up. There's some special knowledge that you need to learn how to do this. And those things are barriers to entry. And what I tell people all the time is that's actually a good thing. Once you get past the barrier to entry, then you want a barrier to entry to keep the competition out. It's just when you're on the other side of the barrier trying to get past it that it seems to be a negative thing. But it is worth mentioning too that some of your competitors in the weed control and fertilization business are doing quite well, have big budgets, and are able to really put a lot of money behind their marketing and growing their business. So while there's not as many competitors, sometimes the competitors are very serious competitors and present stiff competition. But I have found personally that it's easier to get customers in weed control and fertilization than it was in mowing. One reason, because there's simply less competition. The sixth thing I want to mention is this can really improve you as a lawn professional. Maybe you want to just become a full service lawn care provider and offer mowing as well as weed control and fertilization. And getting this license and being able to offer the weed control and fertilization can help you, just be that total package for somebody. And I'll tell you, there's not a lot of people out there doing that. If you're able to do it, I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that as a solo operator, but if you have the manpower to offer both services, then it can be great and can really set you apart from your competitors. But it's something that, in my opinion, I know for me, I wanted to learn how to do weed control and fertilization. I wanted to add that to my skill set. I wanted to just grow as a lawn care professional, and I didn't like not knowing how to make the lawns look good. I wanted to know how to make them look good from a mowing standpoint, but I wanted to know what to put on the lawn to make them look really great. And so learning and getting into weed control and fertilization helped me to do that. And that brings us to the seventh reason is when you're into weed control and fertilization, you can have the best yards in the neighborhood. I'm not talking about just only your own personal yard, which should obviously be great if you're mowing it and doing the weed control and fertilization, but your customers' yards can look top notch. I love pulling it to one of my customers' yards and they've got the yard of the month sign for their neighborhood or for their community or whatever stuck in their yard. And I know that I had a big part to do with that. Now, a lot of times the homeowner obviously has to put in effort. It's not like you spray some magic potion on the yard and it never has to be maintained and it'll look perfect. Sometimes I think my customers think that. They have to require some effort from the homeowner too, but I know that if they'll put in the effort and I use the products and the knowledge and the service that I provide from a weed control and fertilization standpoint, that we can have a great result and something that really can make the homeowner proud. And I'm proud to be the person that maintains that yard and helps keep it looking great. Ultimately, it has to be a business decision. For me, getting into weed control and fertilization has been a great business decision. I'm starting to offer more and more teaching. I've been working on a weed control and fertilization course for over a year and finally got that finished. That's available over at lawncarelife.com if you want to check out the Weed Control and Fertilization Academy. And there's also going to be a 8-week weekly training sessions starting in March of 2021. I'm gonna try to do this twice a year, but there's 20 spots available for this training program. And we're gonna get all the courses and the documents helping people with the pricing and the programs and everything you need to get going in this, the equipment, making the connections you need. But if you're in the 8-week training program, then you'll also be a part of a private Facebook group where we can continue to provide you support as you get started in this. Like I said, it's just a business decision to me. It was a great one that greatly increased my revenue and has helped me become a better, more well-rounded lawn care business. So if that's something you want to consider, go over to lawncarelife.com. Appreciate you watching the video. Let me hear from you in the comments. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.